we're back here. Second hour main event. Don't forget, live on YouTube, 8 to 10 a.m. TME Media AZ. Give us a follow there and catch us live as well. Catch us on demand later in the day as well. We're still live over at Robat TV for those of you with subscriptions over there as well. Lots of ways to catch us here. We have more coming your way as well. For those of you that I had a couple people, Dale, say they want to listen, but they can't turn it on while they're driving. They don't have cars that plays to their speakers. So I got another option possibly coming your way. I'm doing it as quick as we can, but we might have an app on your phone, like your radio stations, where you'll be able to listen to us like a radio station coming up, folks. We're just getting out to the masses, Dale, is all we're trying to do out there.
Look at you. I mean, the masses, Kevin Guy, Richard Obert, everybody wants a little piece of Stephen McCullum.
I love it. This town's going to suffer when Richard's no longer doing what he does, and he decides to hang it up. It really is. I mean, think about that guy last week, just really quick. He wasn't at Media Day because he was covering, I don't know what the official name what it was, but it was Brophy and the other Catholic schools.
Day.
High schools, yeah. He was there earlier in the week. He was in the West Valley for their press day. I think that was Friday, maybe.
By the way, real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
One of the better things that the high school football groups have done.
And this isn't it a recent thing?
Yeah, it's probably gotten it popular the last 5 years.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
3 to 5 years, and Chandler. All the reporters go to one place, and all the teams come to them.
Yeah, they do a district-wide media day.
Yeah,
no, I think it's fantastic.
And because if the goal is to give your kids some publicity, and that's a great way to do it. You just send your Kevin McCabe's and Richard Oberts and Steve McCullum's and all that to one place, and you got 8 schools there.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Yeah. And I was thinking about that. I think I was listening to the McCabe show on 98.7, and he was out at the West Valley one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is a new thing. Like, I don't remember this happening except for like the last couple of years.
This might be the first year
for wider,
no more than second year for the Catholic high schools.
But I mean, I know some districts were doing it.
Yeah,
Chandler 2-3 years ago.
Started it.
Yeah. But I think it's brilliant. And it allows guys like Richard to go talk to the coaches and the setting and the players that they need to talk to and all of that stuff. I think it's brilliant how they do that as well. I agree with you.
Yes.
But Richard was dealing with all that. I was talking to him yesterday. We were walking in, and he goes, "You were at Media Day?" I go, "Yeah." And so he was asking me. I was telling him about it and all that stuff. And I went, "Richard, if you need coverage, man, just let me know. I'll take care of you. You and your AZ Central salary over there." I shouldn't knock AZ Central. I love you, Arizona Central. If you need somebody to do some work
they're
for you,
really one of the only groups that is widely read that has that designated guy.
They're one of the few. Everybody else has either multiple people that focus on areas, and he's just got to do everything. But he was telling me, he goes, "I did my Rattlers pregame stuff early in the week so I could get all this work, concentrate on the high school stuff,
right?
For this weekend before I come down here." I mean, that's how busy this guy is for Arizona Central, and like I said, he's a gem. The Valley is going to suffer when he's no longer.
Well, he had a health scare last year.
He says he's healthy.
Yeah, made a great comeback. Yeah. So
that was the first thing I asked him when I saw him for the Rattlers game was, "Hey man, how's your health?" And he was like, "Oh, thank you for asking," and all of that stuff, and just a super great guy, and I'm always careful in these situations, and that's where this is a me issue. I always leave people alone because they have to work. I work, but what I've learned is I work differently than a lot of people do because I haven't been doing this for 25, 30 years. It's my own company. I cover it how I would want it to be covered,
right.
Whereas they do it more like broadcast standards and journalistic standards. So I leave people alone. So I do find it interesting when they come up and talk to me and stuff like that because I'm just like, dude, I'm a no. Get out. What are you over here talking to me for?
Everybody wants a piece of Steve.
I'm like, I'm following you, man. Like I'm doing what you're doing. I'm trying to copy what you're doing. I'm like sitting in the back like yesterday, like looking at Richard's computer, like what's he doing? What's he doing down there?
Quit cheating on me.
I did notice though, we do report on a lot of the same stuff. I did find that fascinating. I have noticed that, at least for the Rattlers games. Which of course it's easy to do touchdowns and stuff like. But he'll do a lot of player stuff. I just want to get the play out and whatnot, and he'll like actually have the players' names and numbers on there. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't care who that is. That's what I'm talking about. Some of us have standards, some of us are just.
And he's doing this all by himself, and you got
I have
beautiful girlfriend with you.
I have help there as well. You always, it's nice to have a staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people aren't afforded one, and I'm lucky enough to be able to
girlfriend with
have
you,
a staff. Oh, by the way, she works hard.
Yeah.
When Ethan comes with us as well, now that he's 18, when he comes with us, he works hard at the stuff. He helped us out at NASCAR last year. He'll help us out with NASCAR coming out.
Fake sick.
He did. He got sick. He didn't join yesterday because he was sick.
He's Googling, how can I sound sick so my dad will leave me alone?
Saturday night, I was like, he sounds a little, His sister was just sick, so I think it just went through. So here goes mine. Mine's next as well. Robert says, Mr. Obert is a legend. Been around forever. I agree. It's just, one person isn't going to be able to do what he does, is my point. You're going to have to split that out into 3, 4, 5 different people.
And will they?
And that's the problem. That's the problem. There's a good chance. Here's the other thing that Richard takes some criticism for this, but it's a thing. He knows a lot of people in a lot of circles. So if you don't know, you can't cover. That's why I focus on like Scottsdale Christian, Desert Ridge, Queen Creek, the Chandler schools I'll pay attention to because they're out by me. But there's no way you can cover. Like I couldn't cover Centennial and Liberty, the West Side Liberty. I can't cover those schools and do a good job of doing it. I'm one person. That's too big of a wide gap there between all that stuff. But what Richard and the guys that have been around a long time is they have people they can rely on that are in those areas that can tell them, hey, this is happening. Mm-hmm. This coach is gone. This coach is being hired, etc. You have those contacts, and that's what I don't have on those sides of town. But you're around long enough, right? People give you that stuff, and I don't know why people criticize him from time to time because he's got that. But it is.
Yeah, they expect him to be at all 250 high school games every.
I know. Well, he wasn't at that game. How can he report on it?
Right.
Well, there's other people that give you the information and stuff to that effect. But, hey, we're having some fun here as well. Don't forget the text line, 623-252-6670. And, of course, TME Sports Show is where you can hit us up for anything you'd like to say. We did get Tori's got to go text again this morning and on Saturday as well, Dale. I will say this, and I'm not knocking you, whoever's texting that in. I just have their number. I'm not knocking you because I actually know 3 or 4 other people in my social media network that no matter what this team does, they're tired of Tori and the regime being here. And Dale, I get that. I think his time has passed too, but I'm also realistic. Can't fire a coach after what he's doing this year. Now, you don't make the playoffs, then you have your built-in excuse to make that move. They make the playoffs, though, folks. He's getting an extension. And it's not going to be a 1 year either. It's going to be a 2 year or something coming up here and stuff like that. So I understand the sentiments. Realistically, though, how realistic is it? And I by the way, I tend to agree with the people. I think it's time to find somebody to see if they could put us over the hill coming up here.
And I totally disagree with whoever's texting that in and you. How about just enjoy this last month and a half of the season? I mean, they're in a dogfight, and they go to Atlanta. I distinctly remember on Friday, Steve McCullum.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Saying, I hope they win. You hope they win 1 out of 3. God forbid they win 2 out of 3. Then you're ecstatic. You're super excited.
Who didn't have fought out dueling Chris Sale in that game and being able to win that game 2-0 on top of it, if I use a soccer term?
I wish.
That. Oh, my God. Who didn't? I thought Fott was going to pitch well and he was going to duel with Chris Sale well. You worried about the bats, but they did just enough to win that game.
I wish somebody who knew more than me would tell me what in God's name did Brandon Fott do while he was sent down and came, because when he was sent down, he was struggling. There's some people saying you can just release him.
Yeah, they literally, well,
DFA.
got to keep in mind too, they put him in the bullpen for too long to
and then he comes back, and you're telling me because he's not telegraphing his pitches, or he changes. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to know what I think it is? He went down to Reno, and a coach down there actually coached him on how to fix whatever was calling. Because remember, he pitched really well. He had that one inning where he would melt down. One inning. And then he would have that one inning, and then he would come right back and dominate again. It's just like one inning meltdown. He goes down to Reno, and they figure out what's wrong with him. I'm just saying, couldn't figure it out in the big leagues, but he goes down to Reno, and he figures it out, and now he's back up here. Coaching is going to be a theme today, folks, this hour coming up here. We talked about it in the first hour with the Rattlers as well. We'll talk about that in this hour coming up. It is fascinating, though, how well he's pitching when he's come back. And then even then, Erod, right, gave up, what was it, 1 run on Saturday right off the bat in the first inning? Acuna Jr., man, he is hot right now as well. But they were able to come back and win that game. Even Soroka yesterday, 5 2/3 of an inning, hit 80 pitches, I believe, out of that game. Man, one bad pitch to one of the best hitters in baseball, in Olsen, cost him that game yesterday. And I was listening to the game, obviously. I was on the radio when he threw that pitch. And the radio broadcast, which I like a lot, Candiotti and Garagiola, thank you. I like them a lot. I prefer that over. I love Bob Brenly, but I prefer the radio broadcast over the TV broadcast. He threw that pitch, and on the radio, and I don't know how it was on TV, but on the radio, they described what happened. You know, if you're going to go inside on Olsen, you better get inside on Olsen. Don't let him get those hands out, right, extended. And they explained how that pitch just floated out there, and they were like, look, that's just a young pitcher making a bad pitch to one of the best. He goes, they said most of the hitters on Atlanta, that was a safe pitch. To that guy, they explained it beautifully on what Garcia's pitch was yesterday, to give up that 3-run homer to him. It was a fantastic explanation. But one pitch is what did it in yesterday. Other than that, they played excellent this weekend.
Well, you go back to Friday night and Brandon fought. I just pulled it up because I wanted to make sure I was accurate. 7 innings pitched, gave up 2 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no bases on balls, 7 strikeouts. 7 innings, 87 pitches.
Yeah, that's efficient as you can be.
I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that. And, you sit there looking at, he's 7-1. He's had 2 no decisions. He left the game with a lead.
Yeah.
Should very easily be 9-1.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Thanks, hitters. Yeah, no, he's dominant. So now the argument, right before the argument was Erod or Soroka. Now it's Fott or Erod. Yeah. And now I think you lean toward Fott right now.
Right now.
On top of it. Yeah, because Erod is showing some cracks here, but he's able to still get through it and stuff to that stuff. Now, a couple bad things that happened, Dale, we got to talk about. I mean, Marte, left knee soreness, so he missed the game on Saturday. Came back on Sunday. I just drank that Coke and now I got the hiccups. That was weird. But Marte, left knee soreness. That worries me a little bit. That doesn't just go down.
Well, not when you don't have any off days till next Thursday.
You know, it's just if you're on it, you're tweaking your knee. If you're having to make a play make a play in the field, that's one thing. But then you're hitting on top of it. That does worry me a little bit. Ohtani, I know it's different, but Ohtani, knee soreness. They're having to rest him more and more and more because it's not getting better, and he's not even pitching. He's just hitting at this point for him. So the left knee soreness does worry me on Marte. On a normal player, Dale, that can linger. On somebody that has a history of what he does, but he's not feeling right, that worries me a lot going into a playoff push. With his left knee. And I'm not saying it's not legit. It probably is. But then the biggest concern is the left trunk discomfort with Arenado yesterday, where he had to be pulled out of the game in the 4th inning. That's a midsection. That's an abdominal issue for him. You can't hit when you have an abdominal issue, folks. You can't twist your body that well. I'm just thinking we might have an IL stint here for an Arenado coming up.
It looked very awkward when either he hit first base or right before he hit first base. And when he made that turn to go back to the dugout, it did not look good.
And the reason why that worries me is he's hitting really well right now. 2 home runs on, what was that, Saturday? 2 home runs, or was that Friday? Oh, it was Saturday. It was 2 home runs for him. That's the worrisome. And, because otherwise you got Tawa that can play third. You're going to get stretched thin on the infield. Then with left knee soreness at second base on top of it. I mean, Lawler's got to be coming up here soon as well, you would think, to get back up here into this thing. Because you're going to have to put Locklear at first more often now. So that way Tawa and Vargas can possibly slide over and play third more often if he has to go on the IL coming up here as well. So those are the things that are worrying me right now, or at least pay attention to, is you're getting thin. You're starting to get thin with some of these injuries creeping in. Even if he doesn't go on the IL, he's not going to be 100%. And how effective is he going to be?
Well, the thing is with Arenado, not only is he hitting a little better, but the fact that he makes so many plays at third base look easy. I mean, the way he throws the ball over to first base, he's quoted saying, I'm worried, which is not good when a player says that. I've never had this before. I don't know what it is, but he said, again, I try and put myself in this spot if reporters came up to me after a game or whatever and you had pain. He said, I felt a little bit of pain in my intercostal area. Hell, I don't even know where in that.
How does a player know what an intercostal area is?
A trainer told him that.
I half the time I'm at the doctor's office going, right about here, it hurts. It's one of these things.
Yeah.
And he's all intercoastal. Well, Lovello didn't do it much better. He said for him to react that way, there's concern, and that's kind of where you go. And that's why I'm thinking we have an IL stint landing here soon. Because it's like when on a football field, you see players can get carted off, and if they're just kind of stoic, you're like, all right, maybe it's he knows something's wrong, but maybe it's not like devastating wrong. But man, they're emotional, and the teammates are emotional. You're like, that isn't good. Same thing here. The reaction tells you so much more as well. But even Torrey went on to say, once we figure out what's going on, we'll hope it's the shortest time down. He said, usually the diagnosis is not a great sign. That's been my experience in this game the past 30 years.
So he's seeing an intercostal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can't. I imagine you can't twist and turn. And when a player reacts that painfully while running the bases, it's an alarming thing to pay attention to. Right? But him, now Marte with his knee injury, he had to leave the game. Was that Friday? Vargas had to come in for him, or was it Saturday? I get my weekends get all confusing for me. But Marte had to leave the game with that knee soreness and everything. Came back on Sunday. Like I said, you're getting thin quickly here on this infield with some veteran guys with good defensive plays. Bats kind of heating up for Arenado's side. So something to pay attention to on your Diamondbacks. One thing to pay attention to, though, is we're going to see J Mart here coming up in this series and out of the bullpen now.
I certainly hope so. You look at the teams that the Diamondbacks are fighting with, the Padres, Phillies, not so much the Cubs because they're a 5 games.
You got the Cubs coming up, but don't sleep on those Marlins, man. Jack Summers, our favorite reporter around the Diamondbacks here at this program, said what I said the other day. Don't sleep. He didn't say it like I did. He said everybody's focusing on Philly and Padres, but watch the Marlins because D-backs play the Marlins coming up as well. So Marlins are somebody you need to pay attention to with the way they're playing. I do think they'll fade. But it's somebody to pay attention to. Throw up the NL wildcard standings for us, if you will, here, Ethan. Well, yesterday going into the game, it was a 3-way tie. Well, Diamondbacks only one that lost yesterday, so they're 1 game out as well. But also the Cardinals, only 3.5 back. You can make that up pretty quickly in this league as well. My point here is yes, you need to keep up with the Phillies and Padres 1,000%. You have to. If you want to stay available for the playoffs. But you can't go on a long losing streak or an injury-prone losing streak here because you'll be fighting with the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Phillies, and the Padres if you aren't too careful here.
Right.
And that's the danger that Ding has run into with these injuries creeping in coming up here. And look, get these young guys up there, man. Lawler's just I think they're just throwing him balls to hit home runs in the minors right now because it's just every day it's like, oh, Lawler's hit another one. Lawler's hit another one.
Well, again, he's going to be a guy when he gets up here that you're going to hold your breath every time he goes out.
Quit letting him say no extending, no triples, doubles. You better be able to run slowly into second. No exerting energy. No stretching out a triple, Dale, because you'll pull a hamstring. And you got Boston today. That's all. That's what you got today.
Another early first pitch, 4:10 here locally.
By the way, no day off. So you literally left. That was an early game in Atlanta, but you had to fly up that eastern seaboard yesterday, land to get started. Boston right now, second in their wild card standing, 5 games ahead of the third place Baltimore Orioles right now. They are 3 games behind the Yankees, who are in the first wild card spot as well. They're super hot there for a while. They've cooled down. They're only 3-7 in their last 10. So we're probably catching them at a right time, the Diamondbacks are. But you can't sleep on these Reds.
Do you realize, I heard this over the weekend, in the American League East, Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles right now, the playoffs started today, are in the playoffs. The only American League East team that's not
the Blue Jays,
who were in the World Series last year.
And they suck in this year. You see they picked up Paul Sewald?
Paul Sewald.
That's right. Ship him out of this country. Get him to Canada.
Watch him march him right back to the World Series.
They can't get more teams into the playoffs. They're booked. One team has to sit out. That's kind of like the Blue Jays are like the Cardinals of last year, where everybody else is good and makes the playoffs, and you're just sitting there going.
But yet
we're here too.
But yet you look at them, Steve. Blue Jays are 1 game out of wild card spot.
I know. They're right there fighting for it.
Yeah. Crazy.
And they were terrible to begin the season.
Yeah.
They were out of it for the longest time as well for them. So Boston today has Gamboa going for them. By the way, Boston's big favorites today going to this game because Mitch Bratt's on the mound for your Arizona Diamondbacks. This is going to be okay. This is going to be interesting watching Bratt because he's pitched well. I was looking back at it. He hasn't pitched a lineup like he's going to face against these Red Sox in Boston. It's going to be fascinating to see how the young kid, if you're a young and upcoming baseball guy, like you know what Fenway means to baseball, even if you weren't a Red Sox fan. You know what you're about to go into and pitch. Are you one of those that can go in without the lights being bright and do what you've been doing and kind of dominate as a pitcher? Or is it one of those you go in there where you're just like, I'm in Fenway?
Wow, that's the whole thing. First time to Fenway. And
yeah, that's what I worry about today.
Yeah.
A young kid going in there. This is a stadium that you can lose before even stepping out there because you want it so bad and you want to perform so well. So that's the thing today. Then you got Merrill Kelly tomorrow against Suarez for Boston tomorrow as well. Then on Wednesday, that's the day game, 1:10 p.m. our time. Brandon Pfaadt back on the mound against Peyton Toll. I think it's Toll. It's either Toll or
Gosh,
Toll.
with Brandon Pfaadt, it's like every time he goes out there, you're like, okay, get him another. Just keeping your fingers crossed. But boy, by now it's like he's just a really good pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, J-Mart's going to be back in this series as well because after the game yesterday, Justin Martinez put a picture of himself in Boston, in Fenway, an old picture of him in Fenway in a Diamondbacks uniform. He posted it to his social medias telling you I'm coming back for this series as well. That's just going to bolster that bullpen.
Yes.
The back end of that bullpen as well. This is going to be fun. I think this is going to be a fun series. I'm not sure the Diamondbacks are going to be able to hit much in this series. That's where the pitching is going to have to be stellar to keep you in these games here in Fenway. Fenway's a tough place to play if you're used to playing there.
Right.
Diamondbacks don't go there too often. Something to watch there. So that's your Diamondbacks talk for today. Hey, really quick, Dale, PGA Championship, or the FedEx Championship, whatever they're calling it nowadays. You wanted to talk it on Friday. I told you it was going to be a snoozer. Scotty Scheffler. Did anybody else put a score up after Scotty Scheffler did it? 8-stroke lead for Scheffler to win that thing.
No, but he had a 2-stroke lead going into Saturday, and excuse me.
He won by 8 strokes.
Yes.
Minus 17. SW Kim had minus 9.
Yes.
Yeah. And then minus 8 for Sam Burbs and Noren as well. And then SJM 7 under at that point.
Well, it was so interesting to me watching with a couple buddies yesterday, the fact that, so for those who are not golf fans, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but the way the PGA Tour playoffs go now, there's only 3 tournaments.
Yep.
Started this weekend with St. Jude, goes on to the BMW Championship this week. Well, only the top 70 PGA Tour golfers ranked got into this tournament this past weekend.
Yep.
They eliminate 20, so the top 50 are playing this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll eliminate another 20. It'll be down to the top 30. And it was just more interesting to me to watch 45 through 55.
Yeah. Well, you weren't watching Rory McIlroy then.
And now he had a rough week. That's what happens. You take 3 weeks off.
That's the problem when you show up to the plus 8 for him. Thagala was plus 11 as well for bigger names on the outside. Fitzpatrick there, the Swedish player, plus 6 on this tournament as well. A lot of guys struggled this weekend. Morikawa was plus 3 for this tournament as well. 52nd is where he tied for him. Shane Lowry. Plus 3 for that 52nd spot as well for them. So some big name guys just didn't perform well this weekend, moving back and forth. It was kind of interesting to watch.
Right. And so it was so fascinating to me and us because, the guy make a putt, all of a sudden he's number 49. And then he'd make a par and he drops to 50.
Yeah.
And it was just back and forth. And again, you make it to this week, you get all these different exemptions into signature events and majors, plus you get a chance to go win another couple $100,000.
It's big money for
Yes.
these guys. Did the coverage? I obviously wasn't able to watch it. I was following it until I saw just Scheffler running away with it yesterday. What was the weather like yesterday? Because a lot of guys were plus out there. Like, for instance, Sam Burns, I did see this. He was plus 3 yesterday to finish minus 8, which is, tied for third for him. But even SJM plus 4 yesterday. Tommy Fleetwood plus 2 yesterday. And he finished minus 6 at that point. But a lot of guys were also minus 3, minus 4 yesterday. What was happening?
Memphis, Tennessee, about 100 degrees with humidity. Course is burnt out. Pretty tough course. But the other thing I want to bring up real quick about Scotty Scheffler, because we were watching it, and all the guys I was watching with, there were 4 of us. We all do the same thing. I'm sure you did the same thing when you play golf. Early in the round, I think it was the 3rd hole, par 5, he hits a second shot into the bunker. Third shot hits a gorgeous shot. It's going to hit.
I used to do that all the time when I golf.
It's going to hit right on the fringe, and it's going to release because it's downhill.
Yeah.
It happens to hit a sprinkler head.
Ooh, yeah.
Bounces forward, rolls off the green and into the water. Horrible break, right?
Yeah.
That's a horrible break.
I would compound that terrible break with about 7 bad shots after that.
Horrible break. And that's all we would talk about. 2 holes later, it's a par 3, about 160-yard shot, water in front. He hits about 1.5 inches above the water wall. And it's at an angle, 45-degree angle, facing back towards the water. Somehow, against all physics, it bounces forward. and he ends up having a 15-foot birdie putt.
He broke the laws of physics,
and he makes a birdie.
I actually saw that one on the highlights.
Hardly anybody talked about that.
Yeah.
That's a break.
Yeah.
If it hits a break, most people are going back in the water. He's making 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He made 2. And then 2 holes later, par 4, he hits his ball so far left that the camera couldn't even see where it was going.
Couldn't find it.
And as soon as he hits the ball, Scotty Scheffler goes, "Oh my God!" You can hear it audibly, like I don't know where that's going, and everybody's laugh. It hits something.
Oh no! Did it bounce? Oh,
bounced back to the first cut of rough. Hits it on the green, makes a putt, another birdie.
I wonder who the person was that hit and bounced off of their skull.
there wasn't anybody back there.
Yeah, it was so far out.
Yeah, it's like so.
Yeah.
He didn't really talk too much about those 2 breaks.
Yeah, no, he focused on the other ones.
Yeah, but those could easily added 5 strokes to his score.
That's what we do, and that's what puts him apart from everybody else. Is like I said, like if I go in the Sam Trap. For them, that's just a routine hit. For me,
they aim for it sometimes.
For me, that could be 2-3 hits to get out of it because I screw it up or I hit it to the other side, and you compound the mistakes. And sometimes those guys don't do it. It was a great showing from Scheffler. He had an off year for Scheffler standards.
Yep.
Where he was fighting to make the cut and then fighting to make a run on a Saturday and then falling short or something that missed the cut this year.
Was getting off to really slow starts. He won the first tournament of the year, the Amex Championship, and now he won this tournament.
But that's why I was just looking at those scores, going, "What was happening on that course yesterday with the Sunday numbers and everything?" So they move on, of course, to the next, like you said, 50 here coming up. Lots of big names still in this. Lots of reasons to watch it coming up. But, of course, everybody's favorite, Theegala and Rory and Fitzpatrick, all out of this, all out of it now. Colin Morikawa's out. Shane Lowry, for you bad boy fans out there. So I want to give you the update. They play this weekend again.
By the way, Rory's not out of it.
I know he's got the exception.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still top 10.
Yeah,
Theegala, I think, is still top 10, but it's a guy
is Theegala still there? Oh, okay.
I think so, but it's like, well, when I was looking at 49.50, Keegan Bradley made it in by the skin of his teeth at 49. Lucas Herbert was number 50. Adam Scott.
I'd say Scott was outside, right?
Yeah. Corey Connors, Shane Lowry. Jordan Spieth had a chance all the way down.
Oh, was he on the bad side out?
Yeah, he's out.
Because he was playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished 19th, tied 19th in this tournament, 4 under. I just assumed he made it through with that, but no, he didn't.
Right. So,
but Hovland had a bad Sunday, +2, -4. I mean, out of it is just they have such a bad round here in this tournament that I don't think they're not vying for any championships coming up.
Well, for the FedEx Cup,
that's what I mean.
Championship.
That's what I mean by they're out of it coming up this week. It just, I know golf is one thing where you can have a bad week one week, and it's just not for those guys. Whatever. There's your PGA talk. When we come back, we got some NFL stuff. I consider this good news. I told you that last week. I like what the Cardinals are doing, but I see a lot of people out there complaining. Too much playing and too much playing, too much playing. We'll talk about it. Come on back.
Ridiculous.
And we're back here. Breaking news right now. So we'll hit it up as we go into NFL talk out there. Dale just told me something that just, I'm now conspiracy theory Steve's out there.
Oh, Steve or Dave Nash has a topic for a show.
Me and Dave doing the real Matrix. If I ever went on that show, oh my God, governments would shut down.
Or we
would be shut down by governments because our conspiracy theories would just launch to epic proportions out there as well. But AP polls out for college football. We are coming up on that. Just breaking right now. Ethan, do you have a graphic on it? You said. There we go. What a shocker, Dale.
Look at Ethan, just get ahead of the
I
game.
know. I wouldn't even known it was out if you didn't tell us there.
No.
Look at that. Your ponies, number 19, if I can skip ahead to them. Ohio State, number 1. Shocker. Got to put them number 1. Oregon, and number 2. Two Big 10 teams. I'm struggling here, folks. 2 Big 10 teams there in the first 2 spots there as well. Only 2 SEC teams in the top 5. Slackers. Notre Dame at number 4 here coming up here. Notre Dame's interesting to me because Notre Dame, I'll be honest with you, should probably go undefeated in their regular season. It's just they never do, though, right? Strength of
Always
schedule.
seem to get tripped up somewhere.
Yeah, so that'll be fascinating. But obviously, Texas with Arch Manning's a big story this year. I do think of the top 5, I do think Texas probably will be the team that stubs their toe a little bit more. It doesn't mean they won't only lose 1 game, but I could see that happening. But Indiana coming into the season at 6, they got that good quarterback, Hoover, transferred over to them to fill in Mendoza's quarterback spot for them. Same thing with Miami, needing a new quarterback with Beck here in Arizona as well. Texas A&M, who ASU plays at Texas A&M, ranked number 8 here in the AP poll, followed by Ole Miss, which to me, that's too high for Ole Miss. I get they have a lot of guys coming back. Their quarterback, Chambliss, is an amazing quarterback. I think he's fantastic. It's the coaching issue here I have with Ole Miss. They didn't go out and hire a high-profile quarterback or head coach. They went and just took a guy off the staff and gave him the job. That always worries me, Dale.
Well, look at Notre Dame. They did the same thing, and they didn't skip a beat.
I know. I'm not saying you can't. Right. It's just more times than not. I'm willing to bet you if we tracked it, more times than not, it doesn't work out the way you hope it does. Oklahoma comes in at 10 here as well. Then you got LSU. Good thing they're not ranked 5th. Jaden Daniels would lose his mind at that point. They're 11th here. Texas Tech coming in at the first Big 12 team at number 12. Then Alabama, which is overranked at that point. BYU's overhyped every year. They always let you down. Sorry, Cougar fans. 14th for them as well. Interesting enough, SC and BYU tied for their points. That's why they're both 14th. Going to the SC, Dale. That's weird to me. They've
been awful quiet over there.
That's what you got. I guess that's what you got to worry about.
Yeah.
But Michigan at 16, come on. Coming off of all their stuff, head coaching. Their new head coach this year, not a Michigan guy. There's a disaster. And I like the old Utah coach. I just forgot his name.
Whittingham.
I like him a lot as a head coach. Not a Michigan man worries me in Michigan because we've seen that failure a lot there. Jedd Fisch is ranked way too high at Washington at 17.
Where's Arizona State?
Well, we're getting to it here. Penn State's 18th. The Ponies of SMU, 19th here, Dale.
Yeah.
Your quarterback just hurt his thumb, though, last week. So
yeah.
Have to see the recovery.
I did hear that.
You're not going to do well without him.
No.
So you need him to, plenty of time to recover from that, but something to monitor. Tennessee 20th, Utah 21st. Okay, if you want to say so. Iowa, Houston 23rd. Louisville, 24, and then the Missouri Tigers, 25th. To wrap it up, just outside of that somewhere is ASU. Actually, U of A, this is literally breaking. I don't have the others getting votes.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet you Arizona's higher than ASU is. Because there's a lot of hype around Arizona this year.
Have you heard anything about ASU and their quarterback situation?
Other than they haven't named it yet. They were just up at Tonazono. I wasn't able to follow that as closely as I'd like to, so I was going to look into it today and talk more about it tomorrow. I'll say it this way: because they haven't named a starting quarterback, Mikey Keene has made this a competition
for sure.
Now it doesn't mean he's going to win it, but he's made it a competition. So yeah, Ethan says Arizona came in at 29th.
So ASU didn't even receive a vote.
No, they did. They're 30-something probably, if I had to guess.
No, they stopped voting after 30.
No, they don't. They'll keep extending it till ASU gets in there, won't they?
Now we got the top 42.
No, they just put it as others receiving votes. You have to guess guess from that side. But this is going to be fascinating, the quarterback situation for ASU. Because if you bring in a guy from Kentucky, SEC, Boley with his arm strength.
And pay him probably what you paid him.
And you're going to – I'll look at it this way. Conspiracy theory me comes in here and says he probably hasn't won the job, and they're giving him every opportunity to do so. If you know what I mean on that. Yeah, throw it up there, Ethan. Because Dale's doubting me here.
Yeah.
On where it goes. Ethan's getting it.
2027, brand new top 47.
Throw it up when you get it ready here as well. Yeah. Well, we now have our top 75 to squeeze them in here as well, kind of a thing. It's pretty.
While Ethan's doing that real quick, it's interesting. Another thing came up on my phone about obstructed views at Buffalo Bills Stadium.
I saw the fans complaining.
Oh, my goodness.
And then one person, did you see them? Somebody put a fake video out there where they went down and scored their first touchdown in that stadium for the preseason game. Somebody superimposed that railing there. So even when the camera moved, the railing moved with it. And it cut off half the field. It was so brilliant. I retweeted that because I was like, that is hilarious. The fans were not happy because they said, even though the glass is nice, but there's a reflection off of it. So we're seeing ourselves instead of the field. So they go, when it snows, we're not going to be able to see anything through the reflective glass,
Or icy or.
Yeah. So it was less than stellar reviews from the fans. And the thing I saw also was these are fans that were used to sitting lower level with their season, and they had to move upper level, and they're paying more for upper level than they paid for lower level.
Yeah.
And they ain't happy about that also. See how we go on that. If you throw it up when you got it, Ethan, there we go.
Boy, that's awful small.
Well, you don't need to see it because Arizona State's, right there at the end. There's another section there of other things.
They're still not up there?
Klesman, no, they're not. Klesman,
Western Michigan, though.
Yeah, and Tulane and Virginia. Yeah. Liberty as well.
Okay. Yeah.
James Madison. Wow. Now, this is the AP. What does the AP know?
Wow.
The coaches poll had ASU ahead of James Madison in that one with like one vote. What is the? I'm high on it. UNLV there in the Mountain West this year. But yeah, who needs the AP, Dale? Nonsense of that nonsense. There you go. There's your others receiving votes there on the deal for you, everybody.
Nice job, Ethan.
Let's get into the NFL side of things because lots of press conferences this weekend. Yesterday, LaFleur's talking about, asked about Jeremiah Love's. I always want to call him the Packers quarterback's name. I got him. Jeremiah Love is our guy.
No, Jordan Love is the best.
Yeah, I know. I keep wanting to say Jordan Love. I got to stop that. But Jeremiah Love, it was LaFleur was asked about it yesterday, and he said, it's an ankle. We'll just keep it at that.
Right.
They kept saying it was more sore, but Friday you started seeing, the Cardinals hope to have him ready for week 1. And I went, I don't expect to see him in preseason anymore. But what do you mean you expect him back for week 1? And then they were saying it was too sore. And I was like, oh, that's weird, but whatever. It's preseason. Who cares? Adam Schefter yesterday tweets out of the blue after that press conference, and Adam Schefter tweets out, Jeremiah Love's dealing with a high ankle sprain. Those things linger forever.
They can. But maybe that's also a designation so that nobody asks questions about playing the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, which he should not play in every game. And that he got enough work. He showed he's ready to go. Now just get him healthy. Keep this in mind. Jeremiah Love, injured, coming up. But LaFleur, a lot of people are losing their minds on the social media. Why is he in there that long? Why was he in there that long? Well, LaFleur was asked that yesterday as well. Here's LaFleur on Love playing as much as he did in that first preseason game.
It's a rookie that hadn't played, knowing that, not to share too many secrets because I haven't said it with the players yet, but knowing that it was about what it was going to be in terms of how many games these guys were going to play for what we were looking for. So, that's what the thought was.
I'm on the side of get these guys ready to play, especially rookies.
Again, and I know it's a different era and all that. But I still remember in the 90s We're playing the last game of the season. It has no bearing on anything. We've already got our playoff seed. We're the number 1 or 2 seed. I can't get any better. Can't get any worse.
Yeah, you're stuck in it.
Well, we're ahead of the Chicago Bears last regular season game, and we don't look good. The backups. He sends Troy Emmett Michael back into the game.
I remember this story.
Yeah, but nobody got hurt, so there wasn't anything said.
And that's the thing here. I'll even go a step farther. One, you saw what Jeremiah Love can do in a real game against NFL quality opponent. I mean, say what you want when that's in the second quarter there when he was in there, but he got to get out there, get hit, get the rust off of him, show him the environment. Because a lot of those backups there, they're not first-year guys. These are big dudes in the NFL that can hit and stuff. So you're showing that stuff. I'd rather him get injured in game 1 and be able to come back for week 1 or something than the alternate happening where he gets hurt in week 1 and's out for 3-4 weeks. I'd rather this side happen. But I'm also a big fan of get these guys' bodies ready to go. He got out there first preseason game. I didn't expect him to see him anymore. I'm just more on the side of, hit some people, man. Get some people ready, stuff like that. Now, injuries are going to happen, right? Basantis, thank you. On the IL now. That's terrible injury. Yeah. That can happen at any time. Him being in there isn't the reason that somebody rolled up on him at that point.
It's football.
Yeah.
It could happen in practice. It could happen in a game. It could have a preseason game happen the first regular season.
But the rookies get them reps.
Yes.
Now, don't have Froholt and Paris Johnson Jr. in there in the second quarter. They don't need that work. They know what to do as professionals and stuff. But rookies, I do feel different about for them. There, a lot of people disagree with us, Dale. People are like, he should have been out of that game.
Nah.
He shouldn't be sitting there. I'm just a big fan on that stuff.
And he's going to play the first half only, and he got dinged up. It's freaking football.
Yeah.
And so, no, I have absolutely no problem with that.
Keep this in mind with IL for the linemen, and, of course, Love here as well. We'll keep talking about it. The one guy, Proctor, the other draft pick on IL, a season-ending IL. So keep these in mind here. Things on there. Is this a shot at Jonathan Gannon and his coaching staff by Michael Wilson? Michael Wilson yesterday was asked about because what have I talked about in these first 2 preseason games? The receivers, all the receivers. Who are they cutting in the receiving core? They all are catching unbelievable balls. They look great out there. Even the running backs. Trey Benson was out last game, but. The running backs are finding holes. They're blocking on top of it. The receivers are blocking when they're out there. The quarterbacks have all looked good as well. Just as coaching staff has this team ready to play even for these preseason games and stuff like that. Well, Michael Wilson was asked yesterday, hey, what about the success all the QBs are having this preseason? Here's his answer, Dale.
Definitely there's the element of we got to see what it looks like in regular season, but I mean, I've never been a part of a team in preseason that's had those type of numbers, and I'd actually like to see like what the historical data on that is between 2 games. I mean, we're 15-15 in the first half between Gardner and Jacoby, and yeah, it seems like it's almost like plug and play. Like who's ever out there at wideout, who's ever out there at quarterback. It's like regardless, it looks the same, which is. To me, what that comes down to, I think that's a lot is coaching. Like it's players executing, but it's also getting the right calls in, the way that Mike and the offensive staff is detailing things up in the pass game, getting guys open, getting guys advantageous one-on-ones, and then from there, quarterbacks making the throws and receivers getting open. But a lot of that is scheme and just putting players in the right position to be successful.
Well, and to add on to that,
is that a shot?
Obviously, we've all noticed it.
Yeah, he's being truthful.
Yeah. It just looks refreshed.
Yeah.
With the offense, and they're excited to get out there. And then I read something where the wide receiver coach, forget his name, and LaFleur, they're working with Harrison.
Here's LaFleur on Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay. Here's part of that conversation as well. Here we go.
Well, again, I wasn't here in the past, so I don't really know and I don't really care. But just the constant, and I wouldn't say demand, but the constant just reminder about how important each blade of grass is. He's super talented, as you guys know, and but then you get to this next level and you want to find every little margin. You want to find just every little inch that you can get to give these guys. And we thought, man, he gets off the ball fine, but man, he can do it better. And if he does it better, that's just going to unlock different avenues of his game and get him to space a little bit faster, because again, it's just inches, and inches are milliseconds, and milliseconds are everything in this game when there's 22 variables plus referees out on every single snap. So that's just one area. I mean, you're always looking for in all these guys different areas to improve, and that was one that stuck out with him. It wasn't terrible by any means, but it could improve. And I think of a guy like Robert Woods. Robert Woods, I thought, had the best ball get off, for a few years. That maybe, I don't want to say in the league, but certainly for someone that I watched a lot, who was with the Rams when I was with the Niners, and that always stuck out because, that body lean was real, and it was every single time, and it didn't matter if it was a 6-yard route, 16-yard route, or a vertical route down the field. And so, him really buying into that and knowing how those little inches are going to help his game, I think it's just helped build his confidence as well.
This is the smartest kid on the planet right here.
I could just lean back and listen. Imagine that exact same question asked to the goofball last year.
Yeah. This is how they would have done it.
Well,
We think he's doing everything great.
yeah, well,
We will not change anything. Next question.
Unbelievable.
Listen to that attention to detail.
Yes.
Every blade of grass matters.
Yes.
And then he goes to Robert, gives credit to a player he watched at the Niners. He didn't even coach him at that time.
Right.
And it talks about his lean in and his explosiveness off the ball. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is buying into this, which I believe he is, because everybody else on the team seems to be as well.
Right.
But the attention to detail is fantastic from him out there and stuff. And it kind of goes to what you were leading to, is they just went to him, go, you have a ton of talent. Was the other coaching staff, could they not coach Marv? Was he not listening to him? Did they not pay attention to these details? But it's just to walk in and just be like, hey, man, you're great. You have all talent in the world, but this is what you're missing.
Right.
And it's nanoseconds. It's nano things. And if you're breaking it down that way to us, to where I'm right now, like, oh, my God, you're right. He dragged his feet a little bit here when he shouldn't and things to that effect. And you explain that to us, Dale, and we don't understand that, and we understand it now. Imagine what Marv's hearing and on how to get off of it. And
absolutely. And again, even if you were a guy on this team who had your doubts about the new coaching staff or the new offense or whatever, just the first 2 games, have to open your eyes.
I don't know if they're going to be successful.
No.
I don't know if they're going to be here 4, 10, 15 years from now. No idea. No idea if it's going to work. But we have a coaching staff that knows how to coach football and things. And not all of those coaches are successful in the NFL because there's other things in the environment. It's just you're not going to be successful unless, I believe, you have the attention to detail and you're able to relate and coach these kids. And this staff and LaFleur seem like they're able to do it, at least at this stage.
And to be able, like you said, obviously it's the coaching part of, can you relate it to the players?
Yeah.
Do the players buy in? And they certainly seem like they are.
Yeah.
So,
I just go back to that Marvin Harrison catch in the back of the end zone there from Brissett in that Raiders game.
Yep.
And just going what he says there. Last year, he wasn't getting up. That ball was being tipped by the defender because he's running a little bit behind or something, or he's not getting his arms out far enough to catch that ball type of a thing. And then you hear that story, and you're just like, all right, they're working on him.
Yeah.
You saw that improvement.
And I just like to hear this guy talk.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I enjoy him. That whole press conference yesterday, I was just like, giddy. Now, he did say Carson Beck's rib issue is day-to-day. As well. He said his discomfort is still there. They want Beck to heal a little bit more, but said when he'll be ready to go. He was asked, how do you get Beck reps when, if you don't know how it works, starting quarterbacks get 95% of the reps in practice. The backups get 5. Your third-string quarterbacks are usually bringing water out to people. They don't get a lot of reps out there.
Right.
So he was asked that. And I'll say this about LaFleur also. He doesn't shy away. Like, if you asked Jonathan Gannon about Love's ankle or Beck's ribs, you would have just been shut down with, we don't have an update for you. LaFleur will answer the question, but he won't answer it. It's actually an art form that he has. But he's at least giving you some information, even if it's not the information that you want. Whereas Gannon was just like, nope, not telling you that. There. But here's my question for you as we end it here. Here's my question for you. Your Arizona Cardinals. Proctor's hurt. Beck's hurt. Basantis is out this season. Jeremiah Love is hurt. Last year, Nolan out, right? Injured. The year before that, another injury on the rookie. Robinson. Rookies are getting hurt for your Arizona Cardinals. Now, I haven't extrapolated this out across the league. I didn't have time. Are rookies coming into the NFL not prepared for the physicality of it, and they're getting hurt in higher levels than veterans are? That's the perception to me. Name a veteran on this team that's hurt right now. Doesn't it all seem like it's the young guys?
It seems like it's the young guys, but you can take one Basantis who freak accident, somebody falls on his knee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't care how tough you are, how in shape you are. That stuff's going to happen. I've not done a deep dive into that. I think here another 10 days, Love will be okay, and I think that
I'm not saying
okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not going to be okay, but isn't this alarming? Especially we'll just talk Cardinals because we have facts behind that. Rookies tend to come in and get injured right away. A lot. Now it's over a couple of regimes on top of it, so it's not a LaFleur thing.
Right.
But what I'm wondering, Dale, is it possible the process you finish your college season, you're working out to be the best you can for the combine, then you get drafted in April. Is something happening during that process where they're coming in and not able to sustain hits and practices and things to that when it becomes an NFL type training camp and rookie side of things? It's we need to find out how many rookies, are dinged up and injured. That's what we need to find out.
When you mentioned that, the first thing that jumped to my mind is the college seasons are getting longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so your season's over with. You immediately go to work on the combine.
Yes.
Which does not have anything to do with football. It's speed and and bench press and whatever. You're not doing football drills per se.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that has something to do with it. Versus back in the day, nobody even knew what the combine was.
Yeah, you're putting too much weight on, so you're messing up your ligaments and things to that effect. No, I know there's freak injuries, but I'm sitting there listening to LaFleur yesterday talk about his rookies that are all hurt. And I'm just sitting there going, wait, Walter Nolan, Robinson the year before, calf injuries, things to that effect. And then I'm like, well, how's this across the league? I know here in Arizona, is there something happening between the end of a college season and when they're able to come into camp, between that time frame? Their bodies just aren't right? Are they, because of the draft, are they bulking up too big so they're coming in a little too tight, for instance, stuff to that effect? Coming in, but it's an interesting observation that you don't have an answer for, but it's an interesting observation. It's one thing to say that it's the Cardinals because they had high end free agents that they brought in here. Jonah Williams, one of them, and didn't miss a game in their life. They get here and they're just constantly hurt as an offensive lineman.
An uneven weight room.
Yeah, is this a Cardinals issue here? But I'm not saying they're not going to be okay, but I find it fascinating that rookies tend to have the problems.
Before we go, because obviously we'll have more time to talk about that as the week goes along, I want to give a little shout-out to Mike D'Antoni and Amari Stoudemire, inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I saw a little bit of that on, was that Saturday?
Naismith basketball Hall
NBA
of Fame.
doesn't have a Hall of Fame.
Right.
It's a basketball one, yeah.
And we all knew they were good from 04 to 08, the 7 seconds or less.
They were more than good.
232 and 96.
They literally ran you out of the gym.
All
offense, no defense.
some great fun over at whatever it was, that American.
His downfall
Yes,
with the Suns was they wanted to play more defense, and he was like, "Nope."
his downfall was the Spurs.
Change the attitude. Well, once you get to the playoffs, you have to have defense on your team as well. I mean, shout out Diana Taurasi. Her retirement was yesterday. I thought that was just an A1. That was put together so well. I thought overall, I heard parts of her speech. I got to go back and listen to the whole thing, but I've heard some things about it. But I mean, she's a competitive person. Diana Taurasi, if you don't follow her, you'll be shocked at the way she talks about things because she's ultra competitive. And it can be off-putting to people.
Well,
if you're not used to what she
because
says.
in her speech, she said, winning and losing wasn't that important to me.
Yeah.
So you'll go listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen because that's the part I saw, and I'm like, she was the most competitive person I hated to lose. What's she talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what I didn't do deep down.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that and stuff. But I mean, the way she talks, I can understand why people are like, I don't like it. I can understand it because yeah, she's very competitive, and she looks at things in the glass of one of the greatest people. It's kind of like when Michael Jordan talks. Yeah, I look at Michael Jordan like, why do you think that way? Well, that's what makes him great,
Right.
as well out there for them from that perspective. Von Miller to Dallas, Dale.
Yeah.
37-year-old Von Miller booking the Super Bowl here for the Cowboys or what?
I don't know. I think Emmett and Aikman have a few more snaps left in them.
Let's see here really quick. Because I think we got thrown under the bus here as well. Robert says Jack had some insight on the changes implemented in Reno. Jeremy Blech, assistant GM, and another dude had him change his motion, which made his location nails the last 9 outings, meaning he fought. Yeah, so Robert's giving more insight to my comment of Reno coach fought.
Yeah.
Not up here. Kind of coached him as well. Robert says Wednesday's game will be fun. Fought versus one of the guys the Sox offered for Mr. 10-5, meaning Marte. They did. They offered him. And the Diamondbacks turned it down as well. Papa Mike says, look at number 10, Boomer Sooner for the AP poll. Of course, Oklahoma fan there as well. He says, shout out to the producer, all capitals, for getting his graph up and having it discussed. He says, Ethan rocks. Okay, everybody settle down. Let's not get his ego inflated.
I don't know. I think he deserves a pay raise.
Ethan says they never pay attention to news. We're in the middle of a show. That's what pops up as well. My Papa Mike says, careful, Ethan. Stephen and Dale will tell you they are the news. That's right. Your news is what we tell you. If you want to go that way, that route. Papa Mike says, Cardinals in the past several years have always kept their starters out. The result has been that it takes them to week 7 before they play okay together, play them in preseason. And that's the thing. I'd rather love getting injury preseason and come back from it than in week 1. Because you imagine losing Love for 4 weeks in week 1?
Yeah.
With this schedule and stuff like that, it's not. Robert says, definitely a shot. Wilson's not a dumb guy. I think it's definitely a shot. But I think he was being legitimate with our coaching. We love this coaching staff, what they're bringing in, the way they're coaching us. I think he was phrasing it that way, but it's easy to extrapolate it to last year and the previous years here as well. Papa Mike says, great thoughts on the combine. Too much emphasis is placed on those drills. And that's what I wonder. Are guys lifting too much, running too much, where they're, and then they come in all tight, and then all of a sudden, they take a shot on a practice field or in a preseason game, and their bodies go, nope. Robert says the producer does need hazard pay. All right, guys. All right, Ethan. Go pay those guys for saying all those nice things about you.
Negotiate, Ethan.
I'll buy him lunch on the way home. How about that? He starts college here coming up next week, Dale. He'll still be here. He's still working here and everything, but he's going to be going to school after working here. So be some fun from that side. For everybody else, we'll be back tomorrow, 8 to 10 a.m. Come and join us here on YouTube Live as well. Catch us on demand or on your favorite podcast system, folks. We may survive Monday. See you tomorrow, everybody.